Today's guest is someone who is quietly did something very few people in the wine have actually pulled off. He built a real personal brand outside the traditional wine system. Welcome to FineWineToMe, the wine business podcast. Today, I am talking to Dr. Matthey Horkey, who is a YouTuber, podcaster, wine judge, actually, author, speaker, and someone who helped redefine what wine education looks like in the age of YouTube. Before we dive into wine, though, and YouTube, I can ask you to subscribe to the channel so it grows as big as his. Cheers. Hello, Matt. Welcome.
Csaba, hello. Sziasztok.
Oh, very good. A little bit of Hungarian there as well, immediately. Very good. I suppose you spent a fair bit of time in Hungary already, have you?
I actually lived there for part of the year. Budapest is my second favorite city in Europe. Apologize to the Hungarians. Lisbon is my first, but I love Budapest. I love the wines. I feel like Kermit Lynch, a couple decades ago, wrote a book, Adventures on the Wine Route, about his travels through France and Italy. And when I'm in places like Hungary, I feel like that same sense of discovery. I feel like, I feel like almost like I'm Kermit Lynch rediscovering these unique grapes and wines and traditions that are really out of the mainstream in terms of the common wine drinker or the general wine drinker.
Yes, yeah. And I know, as far as I know, you're a big fan of Hungarian 𝐾 𝐪𝐴 as well.
I'm a big fan
of your videos of 𝐾 𝐪𝐴, Blaufränkisch compared and this sort of thing.
I like 𝐾 a little bit more. And then, of course, 𝐶𝐞 is one of my favorite wine, maybe my favorite wine in the world, at least one of top 3, 4, but maybe my favorite wine in the world is 𝐶𝐞. I used to go there about twice a year. I don't go as often, although I was back last year. So it's a wonderful place of really exciting wines. They're just waiting to be drank, waiting to be discovered.
Yes. And I saw that basically you posted a video about 𝐶𝐞, and you used one of my clients' wines, which is Mad Moser.
Yeah.
And I was very happy to see that. But first of all, I want to focus this conversation a little bit more about your personal brand, storytelling, YouTube itself, because not many YouTubers in the wine world actually made it. Let's start with your story. When you first started creating content, was personal brand even like a conscious goal for you, or was it just like curiosity?
It definitely was. I didn't know. Oh, first of all, I'm a big consumer of YouTube. I've loved YouTube since its inception, 2005-ish, 2006-ish. I've been fascinated. Yeah. I have YouTube friends that are humongous. I still don't think I'm anywhere close to made it. Even the biggest wine YouTubers in the world are really tiny compared to the genre of YouTube. I've always thought that if somebody made it on YouTube, really made it work in wine, they'd become ridiculously powerful and influential in the world of wine. I did start because we'll talk about Gary Vee later. I was consuming Wine Library TV when I was learning about wine, when I didn't know anything about wine, when I was just a consumer. I got into wine in university when a little film called Sideways came out. I hadn't been a wine drinker at all, but I was fascinated. That looks interesting. I want to get into that. I backpacked through Europe a few years later in graduate school. In the town wall of Lucca, had a carafe of Sangiovese. Probably was back then a couple euros for a carafe, for a liter, for un litro. And I remember smelling it for 5 minutes and my friends looking at me like I was weird. I was like, oh, wine could get that. Through graduate school, I couldn't drink nice wines. We're broke during graduate school. I moved to Singapore and Jakarta, Indonesia, where I'm a chiropractor by training. I had a couple of clinics, and especially my main one blew up. And in 2015, I took a sabbatical to travel around the world, and that I was spending all my money on food and wine. So I thought maybe I should try to turn this thing into some sort of career, which I guess I've tried to do. But I was conscious of that at first. It was my girlfriend and I at the time. We're no longer together, but I was doing too many things at once. I was trying to write books, trying to do all the social media. YouTube was still my main love, but I still had no idea how the platform worked. I was using an iPhone 6. This is a 10 now, but an iPhone, or I don't know what this is. Whatever, iPhone 6 and a Sennheiser mic, and I was just throwing up raw videos for like years. And I had no idea why I was getting zero traction. I did not know how the platform worked. It took me, I think, 3.5, 4 years to get to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Back then when subscribers had more meaning. Yeah, I always had that in play. It wasn't until COVID that I was stuck in the EU. I was stuck in Croatia. I just didn't want to go back to the US at the time. I was getting a lot of good work done. So I really just buckled down 2021, 2022-ish and just learned the platform and what makes it work. And that's when the channel really started taking off after discovering that, and then putting reps in, learning how to make better and better content. And that's really the real genesis of the current iteration of what the YouTube channel is today.
Was this like a moment when you thought, oh shit, this could be something, like this could happen? Or was it like it just gradually happened when people don't realize how difficult, for instance, this is what I do for a career. This is not a side hustle. This is not a job. I had built a very successful practice in Singapore, successful to the point where it was just me and 2 staff who were turning over 7 figures a year. I'd started that from nothing, like eating a plate of rice every day. It was hard to build up. Trying to make a living doing this on YouTube was harder than building brick and mortar business. It's much harder. It's much, much harder. And and there's a couple things I knew I wasn't doing right at the time, but actually I don't think that until probably late last year, just a few months ago, where I was like, wow, I can really make this work. This really can be something. Before I was kind of hoping and guessing, but it wasn't until actually a few months ago where it really hit me in the face that I was like, wow, this can really be something. Oh, wow. That's been a long time. So I have
it's a long time. Yeah.
I have a long time to go because, you are an inspiration for me in that space. But yeah.
But it's not, because YouTube is the hardest platform by far, because especially long form video, because people have to want to consume it. It's not thrown in front of your face. Yeah. YouTube has changed, just the TikTokification of all social media. It's more like interest media now. It's not who you follow and you get their content. It's what you want to watch. That's why the TikTok is so valuable and the algorithm is so valuable. And YouTube has become that too. Subscribers have basically become obsolete. It's just a vanity metric. Are you getting people to click on the video and watch a long time?
Yeah.
Because people will, and then YouTube just doesn't serve that up to the audience just because they liked one of your videos. They serve up what the viewer wants to watch. It's called YouTube, but it really should be called ThemeTube. You have to learn how to create content that people want to watch, which by the way, I'm not a master, and I'm learning a lot because YouTube has changed, especially in the last year. I've had to adapt and pivot quite a bit. So it's not an exact science, but on the flip side, somebody like you could release a video and you could have 2 million views tomorrow.
Let's hope this one does, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not necessarily that you have to have a large following base anymore, but people that have large following base usually have been doing it for a long time. So they've put in the reps. They know how the platform works. They know how to create content. That's why their content generally gets pushed out more.
And since we are here, the big question is, was YouTube the obvious choice at the time for you, or you think you should have gone into doing a lot more Instagram-y things, which was like relatively easier? Obviously you have to still do it, but then, or was it YouTube that the thing what you really wanted to do because you loved it?
When we started, my girlfriend at the time was my business partner. She was doing our Instagram, and it's so funny because I had built up a big Instagram, but I lost it in a blip in 2021. There was like a worldwide blip, and a lot of people were locked out of their accounts, and some people lost theirs, and I lost mine, which I was making some money from. So my current Instagram is just started. I was anti-Instagram for a while, but it just started like again in 2022 or 2023. But I just do it because the wine business likes to see, they like Instagram. I don't, from stuff like I do affiliate deals and all this stuff on YouTube, from what I've seen on Instagram, it's nowhere close to as powerful or influential as YouTube, because YouTube, you spend time with people.
Yes.
And the more time you spend in a relationship with people, the more you value them, the more you value the content. And I know, I have a lot of friends that are wine Instagrammers that they're pretty frustrated with the algorithm in general. I've helped some people try to start YouTube channels, but they get discouraged. And I understand why. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. That's why there's only There's a guy that just has blown up in the last couple months in the UK, Tom. I can't remember. I think he owns a wine shop. I don't really watch his content.
Tom Gilby, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what his background is, but there's only 5 or 6 of us in English speaking.
Yes.
Even Wine King now was the biggest for a while, but now he's pretty much fully Korean. There's only 5 or 6 of us that have decent sized channels in the world of wine. Yes. Big channels in the world of wine, not in the world of YouTube.
What do you think YouTube gives compared to Instagram or the short form platforms in the wine world?
I've generally seen that YouTube in general, you have a different viewing experience when you log onto YouTube. As a YouTube consumer, I log in, I'm like, what do I want to watch? And if I'm watching a long form video, I'm in it. If you're scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, it's usually boom, you're swiping through. And you get vanity metrics from that. Like videos look more influential than they really are, because if somebody watches it for a split second, it counts as a view. But also YouTube, people spend a lot of time with you. So they learn your personality. It's just like in dating. Like I'm a single guy. When you spend significant time with somebody, you learn a little bit more about what makes them tick, their nuances. You become more attached to them oftentimes. And that's why I think it happens in YouTube as well. Some people will watch creators because they like the sound of their voice or their personality or their cadence. They don't care anything about wine. Like I watch some people that I don't really not interested in that genre, but for some reason their voice is comforting to me, or I just like their personality. I like how they present. I like how they learn. So YouTube is powerful in that regard. I know I just did a collaboration with Gabriel Glass in November, and the video didn't get tons of views, which there's more and more competition. The way the algorithm is changing, I've had to pivot a lot. Video maybe got 12, 13,000 views, but we moved with that video 5 figures worth of glasses. That tells you how impactful, how invested somebody is in the content when you're creating YouTube. And then YouTube also forces you to make long form videos. Actually, production doesn't as matter much. Audio does matter. The content matters. Yeah. But if you learn how to create good visuals, like I see, like you have a nice little background there. The image quality looks good. You've got high key lighting. It just first impressions in image matter. They really do. And I noticed for a while I was resistant. I was like, I'm gonna be like Gary Vee, just no editing, spontaneous. I don't care what the content looks like. I don't care what I dressed. Granted, I'm wearing a hoodie right now, but it's the morning. But I realized I needed to learn how to make the content look better, which I like filmmaking. So I love all the gear and all the visuals, stuff. Yes. But also I had to dress better, had to lose weight, work on my appearance a little bit, because that stuff matters. Yeah. YouTube is human psychology. It's like learning what people really want. It's an open market, and people pay with their clicks, their eyeballs, and their attention. Yeah.
It's in a very strange way. I always feel like this is the new television. And I think it's a new television because when I was growing up, I was born in 83. And when I was growing up, it's like television was the thing what you are watching now. There's so many things, but the only thing that still matters for me, at least on my personal level, is YouTube. Consume a lot of content on YouTube as well. But in terms of wine content, there's not much out there. Do you think long form is still very underused in wine world?
Of course, and it's just underused because people don't know how to do it well. And I've noticed, I can't quote my actual statistics, but I've noticed the people, because YouTube is, since it's linked to Google, you have analytics up the wazoo. Yeah. And the increase of people watching on television has went up dramatically. You look at Konstantin Baum, who's a friend of mine. He's got currently one of the bigger channels. Wine, yeah, he just made a post about, I can't remember what percentage of his viewers are watching on television, but it's significant. Yeah. It's very significant. And so I think just people don't know how to utilize. You can't just, I get lazy sometimes when I do my video podcasts. I do it better when I'm on location because I can edit it out versus something remote. So a lot of people just record something, throw it up. But those big time podcasters, guys I follow, they are meticulously editing out everything and then following, okay, rewatch their videos. When do I feel like I'm drifting? When do I get bored? Because watch time is the name of the game. Long form videos, if you're a solo act, Konstantin is, I do a lot of blind tasting videos. It's almost like in Hollywood and filmmaking, you better be a lead actor. You better be able to carry the entire experience, carry the whole video. And I'm not saying that I'm there. You look at the results in terms of my channel versus humongous YouTubers. It's a process that I'm learning, but it's been a wild ride. They can be ridiculously effective. I think that, again, it's just really hard to make good quality content, to be authentic. The wine business, reviewers depend, like myself included, depend on samples. You don't know what's on Instagram. A lot of it's sponsored content, so you really can't say. I've learned I buy more and more of my wines, but I still depend on samples. But I've learned that producers and importers, now I work with more mainly US, they understand, they've seen my content that's going to be blind tasting.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of a way to shield myself and not be too influenced, because obviously the wine is coming into you for free. So that there is a different valuation. Yeah. I also have, in general, I deal with nicer wines. So that's the hard thing in wine too. A lot of major wine critics talk about now with global warming, everything's good. Like everything is just good. It's just really comes down to preference. I do find that people, I'm doing more Costco videos, more cheaper versus expensive wine stuff that people can find versus something that maybe they should be drinking. And I blind those a lot. But sometimes, you know what? Sometimes the cheaper stuff wins. And I'm not afraid to put it out there. Yeah. I don't care what it looks like, because you're in the business. Blind tasting's tough. How many people?
And also, I think people appreciate honesty about it. In many ways, viewers, because I think I have this feeling that people are fed up with hearing these advertised stuff, and they see through this very easily. So this is, okay, this brand is giving you X amount of money plus X amount of bottles to promote this, and it doesn't sound too authentic. Whereas if you put it blind, there's nothing to do with it. If it's nicer, that's it.
No, the history repeats. The reason Robert Parker blew up, and he was doing it for a long time. He was writing about wine in the late 70s, and he blew up with his assessment of the 82 vintage in Bordeaux. And before then, again, there weren't many quote unquote critics. There were a lot of people that were paid to write about these wines. And he was blatantly honest. I think that's what people respected. He was blatantly honest. And that's why people started to trust him and started to blow up. I know it's a fine line when you're trying to make money off this. Like I did a couple sponsored promotions, mostly on Instagram, to feature wines. Yeah. I found a good system where, do I actually want to talk? The last one I did was a Brunello producer. I liked the wines. I had tasted them before. Do I want to work with them? Yes. I wasn't scoring them or critiquing them. Yeah. They just wanted me to showcase what kind of places I would like to drink these wines, what kind of foods I would like to pair them with. So for me, that worked out perfect. I just shot a couple reels, and I felt like that was a really good space to be in. I just did a project with Rioja Wine Academy, which I have to finish up after we're done here, where I did tasting video, and all they wanted to pay me to promote their online academy.
Yeah.
Not the produce. Like I just did the blind tasting, everything as per normal. I love Rioja. I paid to just talk about their online academy. And ad read 45 seconds, boom, that's clean. I have done some vlogs before where I'm not necessarily critiquing the wines, but they're more experiential, like little mini documentaries. Those are a lot of fun, but those also take a lot of work. To get back to your question, long form is incredibly underutilized. Look at Vince, V is for Vino, also a good friend. He's doing really well. He's blown up in the last couple of years, and that's super high level long form content where those videos are an hour long. I shoot an annual, my top wines of the year. And this year, since in 2025, it's 26 now, was such a big year. My year-end recap was like an hour and 15 minutes long. Yes. Just me talking. And somebody left a comment the other day, and they said how touched they were. And it was about a story that was later in the video, like it was like an hour in the video. So they're sitting there watching, and I can also see what the view duration is, how long people are watching it for. And that's really powerful. People are willing to sit down if you're making good content and consume it.
It's awesome. Yeah. One thing you spoke about before, quite honestly and openly, is Gary Vaynerchuk, who was an influence on you. I think he was on influence on a lot of us, and not just in the wine terms, but also in YouTube or in business world as well. He still is, I think. What was it about him? Was it his sort of energy or work ethic or belief in the content as leverage? Or what was the thing?
He loves sports, so I love sports too. I played basketball. I still play basketball. I played basketball in university. I've played pretty competitively for quite some time. So he likes sports, and he was brutally honest. I was always amazed that he was talking about wines that he sold in his father's shop.
Yeah.
And he would lambaste some of them. So people really appreciated that. And by the time he got to something that was really good, he got super excited. I remember he did a Chardonnay blind tasting once, and he scored a Mount Eden Chardonnay, which is a pretty iconic California Chardonnay. It's from Santa Cruz. It's a wine that regularly used to get 93, 94 plus points from Robert Parker, and he gave it like 79 points.
Yeah.
They pulled it out blind. This is what it is. This is how my palate is. So I think that the brutally honest factor was what made him entertaining. And also, if you read I used to read his books early on when he was starting. Yeah. And I remember when I started this journey, I thought I was going to do this. He said, people think it's going to be easier. It's not. You're going to work harder. Yeah. And that's the case. I work probably more longer hours and harder than I did when I was in private practice. But you know what? I'm around good food and wine, passionate people, and I get to travel around the world.
It's worth it.
Yes.
Yeah. But did you believe him when you were reading those books? Or because I think people realize this sort of how hardcore YouTube is when you actually start doing it. Because like today I'm recording your episode and I just did another one. In between I had a client call, and then I'm probably going to do a fair bit of editing before it gets anywhere. This episode is probably going to be featured in next month. And the previous one, which I recorded a couple of hours earlier, that's going to be in March. And I'll still have like a lots of things to do. And I'm doing it for virtually nothing. This is for me.
It's costing you time. And I get consulted now on YouTube, and I obviously say, even me, I made the mistake, and I'm working up to actually be just a social media star or personality is a lot more costly. It's going to be a long time. And some of us, maybe me included, might not make it. And that's the beauty about being an entrepreneur or being a creative. You're doing something that might not work. Yeah. The best way to do YouTube and the most effective way is, and you could make money right away with not a lot of views, is do you have a product or a service that you're selling? And just add value to the audience, and they will want to purchase your product. That is the best way to make money on YouTube, not to depend on YouTube ad revenue or become some kind of social media star personality based. That's always been alluring and seductive to me. So that's the path I've stuck with. Not saying that's the right path, because it's a lot of time, a lot of investment. And what I made the mistake on, and a lot of people, I think for some reason, like Konstantin Baum, for instance, loved the guy. He was also making content a long time. He's deleted his old videos. He's making content for a long time. Yeah. He kind of blew up during COVID. But people try to they speak about something maybe they have some interest in, they're passionate about. But video, you cannot hide in video. Yeah. People can spot a fake a mile away. So usually you should, even big guys like Alex Hormozy, a guy that I follow, entrepreneur, you should do something incredible or wow first. Then you should make content, because then you have credibility. I started when I was nobody. I didn't know. I had tasted nice wines in the past, but there's a difference between tasting nice, expensive wine versus being in the industry, especially critiquing wine. So I had to learn also. It's been a long time, but I had to learn how to become a wine professional. Yeah. There's also value in that, because some people have been following for a long time, saw the journey. But when I look back, there's a reason why in the beginning I was not getting any views, or people were not taking me seriously. Still to this day, I get frustrated. I don't feel like it's changed in the last couple of years, but I definitely would appreciate some more notoriety in the business. It's changed a lot in the last couple of years, but up until 2022-ish, that would frustrate me quite a bit. But that's what Gary Vee is saying as well. Document the journey as well. Yeah. And that's what you were just mentioning. That's how you started doing it. You becoming a wine
professional wine
Yeah,
personality,
exactly.
because you are now a wine professional, like
Yeah.
I suppose full time, you judging various wine competitions and stuff like that. But you are at the same time, you built your personal brand as well
Yeah,
by documenting the journey, essentially.
it's not for everybody. And when people want to do things like that, I'm like, don't quit your day job.
Yes.
I should have done something. It would have been a lot less stressful if I would just done this on the side. I don't know how I could do it on the side because I travel so much, and that's one of the big impetus of why I do this. But yeah, I tell people don't quit your day job. I have a good friend, Korean vegan. She's New York Times. She just signed her second book deal. She was on like some huge podcast. She was on the Today Show in America.
Yeah.
She was a partner at a law firm, and she didn't quit until YouTube. Everything she was doing around YouTube was making her more money than her law firm. Then she quit. That's the best way to do it. And yes,
the only issue here is when you have a family as well. That's just puts everything in like a different perspective.
I could not do this if I had a family. It's hard enough for me as a single guy to date somebody that understands this kind of life.
Yeah.
But I could not in a way raise and support a family how I would want to doing this life. That's also where I have the luxury. Are you married? You have kids or?
Yes, both. Yeah. And then while I'm recording at this time as well, is because my daughter is in school, so it's quiet in the house. Like there's lots of consideration. Plus, I try to like squeeze everything into a few hours. And
I tip my hat to you because right now my nephew is here because he doesn't have school today. His mom works, obviously. And after this and the shooting some content, I'm going to go play with him. It's snowing here. He wants me to pull him on the sled outside. Yeah. And this is like a one-time, it's not something I do often, right? But somebody that's a parent, a family, you're juggling that I cannot imagine. Yeah. I cannot imagine that.
And that's why I don't have really like high hopes. If it goes somewhere, it's brilliant. If it doesn't, okay. But we're going to go back on something what you just mentioned earlier, a little bit later. I want to ask you about something else as well. The reality of YouTube. People underestimate how hard YouTube actually is. And what is the bit what nobody talks about? Do you have anything in that sense?
First of all, I tip my hat to you. Number one, we'll get to that question. You were enjoying doing this though, right? You're enjoying.
I do, yes. Wow.
So
otherwise, how would you do it?
Like, you're winning already, because most people, if you enjoy it, that's probably the best way to go about it. If you enjoy it, like podcasting is great. I started to learn. I got to do more, but I like doing the video podcasting because I like meeting and talking to people and having conversations. I consume a lot of podcasts on YouTube, which YouTube is now goes back and forth. It'll be the biggest podcasting platform on the planet now. But how hard is it? Like right now, even though, and now it's annoying me because I'm looking right there. My screen, my map doesn't have its accent light on because I didn't know we were going to shoot from this angle. So now I'm looking at this. I'm irritated. Right now, I'm just shooting a live interview, but for my recorded content, now I'm at the point where I'm looking, you can't see in the background that's behind. I have 2 cinema cameras going, sometimes 3. I have a microphone. I have LCD screens. I have 2 cinema lights. I usually have about 10 or 12 accent lights in the background. If you can see those, my ballot cellars are lit up. Those are little accent lights. I got the light there in the background. I've got a light that's providing a halo effect over me normally when I'm shooting head on. And also on top of that, got 2 microphones going. Plus you got to focus on tasting the wines, and I shoot by myself.
Yeah.
So I'm the producer, I'm the audio engineer, I'm the cinematographer, and I'm the talent. It is a lot. It's a lot. And I didn't have any background in video. I love it. I learned to. I edit everything on Final Cut Pro. I do everything myself. I've learned to really enjoy it because I love film. I love cinema. I love cinematography. Yeah. Which you don't have to. You could make a very simple video with just an iPhone's great nowadays. Yeah. The cameras on these smartphones are amazing if you know how to light. But you do have to learn these baseline skills. That's why when we were shooting, I didn't actually want to shoot from this angle. I wanted you to move over because my key light on the right side is slightly lower than the one on the left. It's how it shapes your face. There's all these subtle things, and learning how to edit. I keep all my reactions when I do my blind tastings, everything genuine. But into my educational parts of the video, I edit out things where I think, man, even though I said it, recorded, it doesn't seem like it flows well. It doesn't seem engaging at all.
Yeah.
I've learned better the art of doing the blind tastings, leaving in some long couple seconds of silent pauses.
So you can
instead
edit
of
stuff. Yeah.
instead of editing them out, because they build tension. It's just, this is an art.
Yeah, yeah.
This is something that you learn with time. With video podcasts, it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
It's learning how to. I have much better, more fun doing in-person video podcasts because you can read and see the people. Like I do some like this as well, but also you can edit it to make it look like a more free-flowing conversation that's actually quite tight. That's why you see I'm a big consumer video podcasts on YouTube. So that's why some of these, they look like full-blown TV shows, but they're edited really well and they keep you engaged for a long time.
Yes.
So it's hard. It's super hard. It's people. I was just finishing up some work with a client that they want more and more. People don't realize just alone, if a client was coming to you and just paying for the production, if they had to pay for the production themselves, they'd have to pay for a model. They'd have to pay for the cinematographer, the audio engineers, all that kind of stuff. Whereas I'm doing that all in one. It's a ton. It's a lot. That's why you see, like, I am a big cinema fan. That's why Hollywood is the standard for filmmaking. Maybe Bollywood in the East, because the level of production, the lighting, the sound design, the audio engineers, building sets, it is a lot. I don't know if anybody's been on set for anything, how many takes it when you make a film just to get a 15-second clip, maybe even less, that you can use, how much work it takes to get that 15-second clip.
Exactly. How many people it takes and how much equipment and all these things. I try to keep it as light as possible as I can possibly do, because obviously lack of time and resources and everything, but try to make it look fairly professional as much as possible.
People can make it look really professional with just good lighting and good audio. I spend a lot on my microphones, and it makes a huge difference when bringing the editing room. I know that I work with somebody in video, she's a friend. She does video professionally, makes a lot of corporates. And she said, I have no idea how you can do this as one person.
Yeah.
Because she works with the whole team. It's a lot.
Did you ever feel quitting?
Oh yeah. Often. Not often. I would still always kind of do. I felt often like quitting as trying to make a career out of it. And I was like, I just do it. But every time that I've thought that, something happens where a brick was laid out in front of me and said, no, you're on the right path.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Just keep doing this. Keep moving forward. Keep going. And it's a slug. It's hard. There's nobody that is free of comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. But even big creators, there's nobody that can escape comparison. Yeah. And it can be frustrating. I was frustrated one time. I know I've helped some famous YouTube channels, or not famous, some also comparable YouTube channels. And sometimes their videos, we do the same video, or I had the idea first and their videos do way better than me. And I get frustrated. And I have a lot of friends that are entrepreneurs. I talk often every week. One time, can I swear on the podcast or not? Or should I keep it muted? I'll keep it muted. I was complaining about this, and he said, Matt, in life and business, it's not always effing fair.
Yes, exactly.
It's not always fair. Life isn't fair. You're a dad, so you know this more. You got more life experience than I do. It's not fair, but is there something in there that has kept me going? Yes, and I do get better. I travel free. I travel a lot.
Yeah,
that's a huge benefit. Something I love to do. That's why a lot of people actually stick in the wine media space, the wine media business, because of the travel. I've thought very often. I think this last year I had my best year ever. Both just experience, what the channel produced, not in total views. Views went down because I couldn't spend as much time on the channel, actually. Yeah. And I didn't build as much as I could, but I was busy the whole time. And that's when I was like, wow. I think at the end of December, when I look back on the year, I was like, wow, it's happening. I can really do this.
Yeah. It's good. No, that's brilliant. One thing I wanted to actually go back, and you touched upon this briefly, because everybody is obsessed with follower numbers and views and everything. Previously it was follower numbers. Now the algorithm changed, it's more views, watch time and everything. But there's one element which I don't think you can measure that way, is I think all these inbound opportunities. And you mentioned this before, because even though my channel is tiny and I didn't do too many videos so far, but already I had clients coming in people who I interviewed, and they became my clients because they spent an hour with me, and I think it's the trust factor. So it's not just that we don't know each other, but at least we spend time together and we see each other's point of view and understand the dynamics between people. And I think that's something what a lot of people underestimate, in that sense, that what can bring to you, apart from, as you said, it's not just monetizing the channel, but like other benefits could come from here.
You don't have to have 10,000 people watch a video. You have to have the one right person. And when you're on YouTube, where it's different, you might get discouraged. You're like, oh, I got 15 views, 100 views. Those are 100 real people that have chose to click on the video and watch. It's not like Instagram or TikTok where they're scrolling through. Somebody has chosen to watch that piece of content. And I agree 100%. Like you pitched to me, you said, my channel's not as minuscule, but I'd like to have you on. I like doing video podcasts. I looked at what you were doing. I said, of course, because you never know. It's nice to make a connection. You never know who watches this on my side, on your side, what that might lead to. That's the most underestimated thing. That's why I said that if you want to make money on YouTube, it's create content around a product or service that you're already doing.
Yes.
That's what's going to become super valuable.
Yes. Yeah. Do you think other metrics still important, or obviously if you want to grow the channel that you have to have the views and everything, but the
most important thing on YouTube, I used to really be obsessed with metrics. I'm not, and you hear this from my big YouTube mentors. Like, I used to check channel analytics like every second, but now I don't. There are things, but the most important thing, as of we know right now on YouTube, is click-through rate and watch time. You get people to click on the video and you get them to stay. Those are the most important things. In terms of fulfillment for me, I look at the quality of comments. I love that YouTube is a commenting culture. I've had some videos that did not get very many views, but the depth of the comments really blew me away and was really incredible because it was an engaging topic to a small number of people. And I've had other videos that maybe got more views that just the comments weren't as enriching or fulfilling.
Yeah, you didn't go as deep as like.
That's the metric that I use. YouTube's got people leave paragraphs, pages in terms of comments. And that's what I think. One of my favorite things on YouTube to do, I like music as well. I play guitar, I like music. I like to watch music that I like, but most of the time I like to look down at the comments because there's some songs, especially I like singer-songwriter genre, where people because they have nowhere else to go. They go and they'll share a story like their father died or their son was in this horrific accident, what the song means to them, because it's an outlet for them. But if you think about, wow, that's how powerful YouTube is. It can really, the goal of anybody that creates video, when you start to move up in the higher levels, I'm talking about myself, talking about people that are making cinema, film, the main thing what they talk about is they want to elicit emotion.
Yeah.
That's the most rewarding thing to do when you're creating video. And that's why I like that. And I like when I do get occasional wine isn't a thing where a lot of times people separate the human experience of wine, especially wine critics, personality, journalists.
Yeah.
I try to bring in stories and personal experiences, and people can see on my face. And I love when the last couple of videos, a couple people commented how they got choked up by some of the stories I was telling. And specifically, I had a couple other videos. I had one paid video where I did about Tuscany. I did a partnership with 𝐓𝐴vognanessi and Biondi Santi, which was awesome. It's the best video I ever made in my life because I was like a real film producer. I had 2.5 weeks in a Tuscan villa to just concentrate on that content, to really get all the shots, go back and take everything. And I pinned the top comment. Somebody commented years later. That's why YouTube's so powerful. This content lives on years later. They commented years later how their wife, like 𝐓𝐴vognanessi, was very special to his wife. And when she died, the wine meant even more to him. And then he went to the vineyard that it was in my video I was walking through, and he took her ashes and he spread them along the vineyard.
Wow.
And it was a really
that's powerful stuff. Yeah.
It was a really moving comment. And that's the emotional payoff, the emotional paycheck of doing this too.
Yes. And finally, I wanted to ask you about the future. Any format you're curious about? what is there anything what you haven't tried and want to do, maybe within YouTube or even outside?
That's the thing about my channel. I still experiment a lot. Sometimes some videos don't. I've had recently some not do so well at all. I experiment. I've really enjoyed, although I haven't had as much success. There's a channel I follow called Potato Jet. I follow a lot of tech channels. He's a funny Asian guy, and he knows his stuff, but he's just like a goofball. And he did a couple where he went to tech shows and he was like interviewing people and being funny.
Yeah.
So I started doing that at a couple wine shows. The videos haven't really done as well because usually wine people are more stiff. We can't get as more serious or be as funny, I think. But I've enjoyed that. And some people say they like it because they like to see me out in the wild. I've loved doing video podcasts on location. It's just really hard sometimes to get times down, get everybody to meet to actually do that. That's what I've enjoyed a lot. I'm going to try to do more of that this year. I still like the blind tasting. I'm going to do more. Unfortunately, the types of wines you and I get excited about are going to be small production, interesting stuff, but that's not the reality of the wine drinker. And I'm doing more and more supermarket type style videos and what I think. And that's great too, because the wines are usually fairly priced. So I just go out and buy them and then say I just can be completely off the cuff about them. So those are some formats that I'm working with. And we'll see. Like I said, I don't think even Constantine, who's probably got per video, probably got the most views per video. Him and Via's for Vino, but Vince does something different where they're long documentary type style videos where you can't make a lot of them in a year. If somebody really figures this out, man, they're really gonna quote unquote do their part in saving the wine industry, I think.
Let's hope so. That's for another talk, because that's a big topic, how to save the wine industry. But maybe we can do another one on that one.
I think the most important thing, just quickly on that, is what you're doing, what we're doing here. My good friend Robert Joseph, also from the UK, talks about how wine doesn't need more education; it needs more seducers.
Yeah,
more people to make wine look cool and fun.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's why several wine Instagrammers, I guess, are successful in that regard, since Instagram is an image-based platform.
Yeah,
I think that's the most important thing moving forward for wine.
Awesome. Matthew, thank you very much for your time. I have probably millions of other questions, but time is important for both of us, and maybe we can come back on part 2 for something different.
I'd love to. That'd be great.
Another topic, just to do something a little bit bigger as well. All I have to say, guys, is follow Matt. Hopefully you follow me as well. But the most important is just drink good wine. So yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Cheers, Matt.
Ǩēsi.